According to an arrest warrant, Nunez used the ruse of performing a hernia exam during a sports physical to have the 14-year-old boy expose himself.
This video is particularly for my parents out there that may be watching, and really for anybody else. It's just important information to have. North Texas pediatrician was caught doing some very inappropriate things with patients, and it really bothers me to know that there was a time where there at least were places that people could go to, places where people could bring their families to, and they could trust that things would be all right. But it's starting to seem as though more and more that's not the case. You mean to tell me that we're living in a world where I can't even take my child to a pediatrician without having to double check, without having to be extra cautious? When the pediatrician is supposed to care for the child, not abuse them? Something to think about, man, but we definitely got to stay prayed up. That's nonetheless. That goes without saying. But let's get into this clip. Very shocking. Brace yourselves. Here we go.
Well, police are talking about this today because they believe more victims are out there and they want them to come forward.
He just performed a medical exam that he was unauthorized to perform.
25-year-old Angel Nunez, a former medical assistant at Little Spurs Pediatrics in Irving, is accused of having inappropriate sexual contact with children being seen at the practice, ranging from ages 9 to 15.
As of right now, we have 3 victims. We do believe that there are more victims.
Last month, Irving Police Department was first made aware of allegations from a 14-year-old boy. According to an arrest warrant, Nunez used the ruse of performing a hernia exam during a sports physical to have the 14-year-old boy expose himself and touch.
If you didn't take the disclaimer earlier for bracing yourself as a disclaimer, allow me to stop now and provide that disclaimer for you. It's very descriptive content you're going to continue to hear. But it's already puts me in a place where it's like, these are the things that bother me, because apparently people go through extensive research to get these jobs and stuff like that. And it's like, where in the protocol is it checked or reviewed that these people aren't going to do what essentially this 25-year-old man is doing to young people, man? It's something not right up here for that to be a thing. And even for me, I get it. I know, it's that's why when it comes to doctors' offices and stuff for me, and it comes to my children, and my wife knows, I don't play when it comes to these doctors and stuff, like, if you either do it my way, I understand you have protocol, but because of what's happening in this world, you either do it my way or we're leaving. And I'm not rude about it. It's not like I'm pushy about it. And I know some people may be like, that's the wrong way to do it, Rob. That's the wrong way. I know, I understand, but it's like, you can just never be too careful, y'all. That's all I'm saying, man. You could just never be too careful. But let's keep this going.
The boy inappropriately for a couple minutes.
Part of his duties were to take vitals and stuff, but he was not a physician himself.
The 14-year-old came to the appointment with his mother, but Nunez allegedly took the boy to another room, telling the mother the boy needed an eye exam. But once in the other room, Nunez allegedly told the boy he needed to perform a genitalia test.
That's insane. Not only should this entire place be sued, but yeah, that's that whole point where I'm saying, like, we either do this my way or we don't do it. It's not like I'm really trying to impede on, like, everyone's, like, ability to do their job. No, but in situations like that, there is not anything that you can do in this entire building or anything that you have to do in this building with my child that you will do without my 100% supervision. Like, 100% supervision. It just is what it is. Oh, I'm sorry, parents can't go beyond this room. Well, it looks like my child's not going beyond this point either, and we are all leaving. Oh, well, you can't discharge your child. What do you mean I can't discharge my child? It's as easy as me grabbing them and walking out, and that's exactly what I will do. And that's that part where I would encourage people, these places, they will tell you what your rules and they try to violate your rights. And it's like, let's not forget, I came here for a service, for you to help my kid. So my child will be going and my child will be wherever I determine my child will go and be. It's just as simple as that. And if we can't come to an agreement on that, we're going to go. Let's keep this going.
Video evidence shows Nunez taking the child into a second room, according to the arrest warrant.
So the pediatrician's office made a CPS report.
Nunez was arrested on September 5th. He posted a $100,000 bond 2 days later. On Thursday, Fox 4 got a hold of Nunez over the phone. Police were saying that you would take these kids into a different room and talk to them about having a hernia exam. Nunez denies the allegations. Little Spurs Pediatrics says he also worked at multiple locations in North Texas.
So he worked at Grand Prairie, Fort Worth, Irving, and Arlington. At this time, our only offenses that we're aware of occurred at the Irving location.
Since police believe there are more victims, they want parents whose children came in contact with Nunez to think back.
We're asking parents that may have kids who went to this facility to have those conversations with their children.
Nunez was hired by Little
To have those conversations with your children. I think yeah, you definitely got to do it, but it's like, bro, look at this, man. It's like, why should I even have to have a conversation with my child about something that happened to them in a very violating way in a place that it shouldn't even happen? Like, these are places that people bring their children to. Also, these are places that people bring themselves to for healing, for help. Not the opposite. This is it's a tough thing for me because these situations, because I have children, it's upsetting. It kind of makes me angry also to a point, because what if it were you, what if it were me, what if it was my family in that situation? And it kind of makes you empathize, and you can hurt for the other people and the other families that are dealing with situations like this. But more over than not, man, when I just look at this gentleman right here, it's like, I know it's sometimes not the thing I want to do, not the thing that's easiest to do, but gotta pray for this brother, man. We gotta pray for people like this. We gotta pray for our nation, pray for our land. There's a sickness in the land. There's a sickness in this world, and it's eating away at people's minds. The enemy constantly, man, that dude is prowling. He's hungry and he is thirsting to devour something. And some people allow themselves to be used in ploys of the enemy to do things to other people that just should never be done. But let's finish this out, man. Here we go.
Nunez was hired by Little Spurs in August of last year. He was fired last month after an internal investigation. Little Spurs says it continues to fully cooperate with law enforcement.
All right. Well, at least, my man is not working there anymore. So at least they're in this middle of this investigation. They could at least not keep this thing happening and having so many other victims down the line. But hey, this is just for awareness only. Make sure you guys understand that you do not have to just submit to things and having your children in places and away from you and stuff like that. Also, make sure you're having conversations with your children constantly, so that way you are actively aware. Sometimes they may not know how to explain it. Sometimes they may find themselves in situations that they should not be in. But it is very important that active communication and active conversations are continually happening, so that way no surprises end up in where you end up having multiple victims from multiple different places, like this 25-year-old gentleman, man, that did that thing to those people and did so many different things to so many different young people. And it's like, well, what's going on, man? We got the Diddy thing going on, where you find out that one of the youngest victims in his situation was a 9-year-old. What is going on? What kind of sickness is it to where the obsession is that? Like I said, no matter what it is, man, we got to pray for the world. We really got to pray for people, even for people that are doing harm out here. We got to pray for them that maybe that they'll find a different way. Maybe that they will see the light. You know, people say, look into the light, man. Look into the light. We need some people. We got some people that really need to start looking into the light. But that's all I got for you guys on this one, man. I appreciate you guys per usual sticking all the way through to the end. To the next one, y'all. I'm out.